Fear, worry, anxiety. These invisible forces are stealing our peace, destroying our health, and paralyzing our potential. But what if I told you there's a simple 3-step formula that can instantly cut through the fog of fear and give you back clarity, courage, and control? This formula isn't from a guru selling promises. It comes from Dale Carnegie's timeless wisdom, tested in the fires of real life by people who had everything to lose, and yet won. In this video, you'll hear their stories. You'll discover how to face the worst, accept it, and then rise above it. And by the end, you'll walk away with a powerful mindset that will make you almost unshakable. Worry is like quicksand. The more you struggle, the deeper you sink. Science has proven it. Worry raises blood pressure, weakens the immune system, and clouds decision-making. But here's the paradox. Most of what we worry about never actually happens. A study from Cornell University once revealed that 85% of the things we worry about never come true. And for the 15% that do, most people discover they can handle them better than they expected, or that the difficulty taught them something valuable. So why do we keep worrying? Because our minds hate uncertainty. Worry tries to fill that gap with endless what-ifs. But Dale Carnegie, drawing from real stories, teaches us a liberating truth. When you face the absolute worst, when you shine a light into the dark cave of fear, you take away its power. That's the foundation of the magic formula. Let's go back to the story of Willis H. Carrier, the father of modern air conditioning. In the early days of his career, he was tasked with a $1 million project installing a gas cleaning device. When the machine failed, panic hit him like a storm. Sleepless nights, a churning stomach, fear of losing his job. But one night, in the middle of his torment, Carrier asked himself a simple but profound question. What's the worst that can happen? The answer? He might lose his job. His company might lose $20,000. Painful? Yes. The end of his life? No. So step 1, he faced the worst. Step 2, he accepted it mentally. He told himself, if I lose my job, I'll find another. If the company loses money, they'll recover. Life will go on. And suddenly, peace washed over him. Step 3, with his mind clear, he focused on improving the situation. Instead of losing $20,000, he came up with a solution that saved the project and even made the company $15,000 in profit. Carrier later said this formula saved his career and his sanity. He used it for the rest of his life. Think about it. The breakthrough didn't come from panic. It came the moment he accepted the worst and moved beyond it. Why does this formula work so powerfully? Because acceptance dissolves resistance. William James, the father of American psychology, once said, "Acceptance of what has happened is the first step in overcoming the consequences of any misfortune." When you accept, you free your mind. You stop fighting shadows. Your energy, once wasted on fear, becomes available for solutions. Lin Yutang, the Chinese philosopher, put it this way: true peace of mind comes from accepting the worst. Psychologically, it means a release of energy. And here's the secret. Once you accept the worst, there's nothing left to fear. If you've already imagined the bottom, then every improvement, every small victory feels like a win. One of Carnegie's students, a New York oil dealer, lived this formula during one of the darkest weeks of his life.
Some of his drivers had broken the law, delivering oil illegally. A supposed government inspector showed up, demanding hush money, $5,000. If the dealer refused, the inspector threatened to expose him to the district attorney. The dealer was paralyzed with fear. For 3 nights, no sleep. His mind racing. Should I pay? Should I fight? What if my business collapses? But then, he remembered Carnegie's principle. He asked, "What is the worst that can happen?" The answer, the worst was not jail, but the ruin of his business, the destruction of his reputation. Hard, yes. Fatal, no. Step 2, he accepted it. He told himself, even if my business is ruined, I can start again. I have skills. I will survive. And with that, calmness returned. His head cleared. He realized he had overlooked an obvious step, calling his lawyer. The next morning, he did. The lawyer revealed the truth. The so-called inspector was a fraud already wanted by the police. The blackmail threat evaporated. What 3 nights of torment couldn't solve, clarity and calm solved in hours. That's the power of the formula. Sometimes the worst isn't losing money or a reputation. Sometimes it's death itself. Meet Earl P. Haney, a man diagnosed with incurable ulcers. Doctors told him bluntly, "Prepare your will. You have only months left." For many, this would be the end. But Haney made a bold choice. He asked himself, what is the worst that can happen? The answer was death. So he accepted it. He even bought a coffin, arranged to bring it on his world travels just in case. But instead of lying in bed waiting for the end, Haney set out to live fully. He traveled the world. He ate, drank, laughed, and embraced life. He made friends, saw wonders, danced with storms. Months later, not only was he alive, he was healthier. His ulcers had vanished. He returned home with new energy, sold the coffin back to the undertaker, and went back to work stronger than ever. By accepting death, he found life. By surrendering, he won. So, how can you use this magic formula in your life? Here are the 3 steps again. Let's break them down with practical examples. Ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen? Will you lose money, face rejection, miss an opportunity? Imagine it clearly, no matter how painful. Prepare to accept it if you have to. Say to yourself, even if this happens, I can handle it. Life will go on. This act alone dissolves fear. Calmly focus on improving the worst. Now that fear isn't choking you, you can think clearly. Solutions will appear that worry had blinded you to. Imagine applying this before a big presentation, a difficult conversation, a financial risk, or even health scares. The formula doesn't remove challenges, but it removes paralysis. It gives you back power. Why don't more people use this formula? Because it feels unnatural. Our instinct is to resist, to deny, to fight the thought of the worst. But in resisting, we feed fear. The paradox is this. The fastest way to overcome fear is to stop running, to face it, name it, and embrace it. Think of fire drills. Schools don't avoid thinking about fires. They rehearse them. Why? Because preparedness creates calm. The same principle applies to your mind. Worry thrives in darkness. Shine a light on it and it shrinks. From Carrier saving a contract, to a businessman defeating blackmail, to Haney conquering death itself, the formula works across every arena of life. So the next time worry strikes, remember, face the worst, accept it, improve upon it. Do this and you'll discover a peace that most people never find. Because the truth is this, once you've faced the worst, you're free to fight for the best.